They thought silence would protect them, but every secret has a way of finding its voice. For years, they carried hidden truths quietly, but now those truths are louder than ever. Their silence was a strategy, a shield. But shields break when the truth hits hard. They pretended everything was normal, but the truth lurking beneath refuses to stay hidden. Every unspoken word, every hidden feeling, is now lining up to reveal itself. They acted like nothing happened, but the energy of hidden secrets always seeks light. Silence gave them control, but control is fleeting when truths decide to emerge. The quietness that once calmed them now trembles under the weight of exposure. Their secret was carefully hidden, but the universe has a way of uncovering all things. They stayed silent to avoid chaos, but chaos always finds the cracks of silence. Every concealed moment they hoped no one would notice is now stepping into the open. Silence may have delayed confrontation, but confrontation never forgets the truth. They believed their quiet would be invisible, but secrets always cast a shadow. Their unspoken words have been accumulating, and now they crash like a tidal wave. They smiled through the silence, but their inner storm has begun to roar. The hidden truths they buried deep are clawing their way back into reality. Every mask they wore is slipping, revealing the truth they tried to hide. They thought hiding would protect them, but even shadows cannot hold secrets forever. Silence was their ally, but now it turns against them, revealing everything. The truths they held inside are finally taking the stage, demanding to be heard. They stayed quiet, thinking time would bury everything, but time cannot bury what yearns to be known. Their secrets lingered in darkness, but darkness cannot resist the pull of light. They acted indifferent, calm, collected, but even the strongest facade cracks under truth. Every avoided conversation, every withheld word, is now surfacing in undeniable clarity. They thought no one would see, but everything hidden has eyes eventually. The quiet they relied on is now the stage for revelations too big to ignore. Every unspoken truth is finally finding the courage to speak for itself. Their silence may have fooled the world, but the universe always remembers. Secrets carried in the heart for too long become restless, and theirs are restless now. They stayed silent to survive, but survival doesn't stop truth from rising. Even their careful control cannot withstand the pressure of secrets pushing to escape. They held back stories, thoughts, feelings, but now those stories demand freedom. Silence was their comfort zone, but comfort zones crumble under the weight of reality. They thought the quiet would hide them, but secrets are persistent and patient hunters. Every shadow they hid in is shrinking as exposure creeps closer. They acted as if nothing mattered, but the matters that were hidden are now urgent. Silence once served them, but now it serves only as a reminder of what's coming. The truths they thought buried are resurfacing with unstoppable force. They stayed silent, pretending life carried on, but life now speaks louder than their silence. Every corner they hid in, every secret they whispered to themselves, is now illuminated. Their quiet was a temporary pause, but revelations don't pause for anyone. They thought the world would never know, but some things are destined to emerge. Silence was their shield, but now the truth pierces it like light through glass. Every lie of omission is unraveling, and they can no longer hold the threads. They stayed silent, hoping the past would remain buried, but buried pasts demand acknowledgement. Their secrets lingered like shadows, but shadows vanish when light reaches them. The calm they projected is a fragile shell, cracking under the force of truth. They acted untouched, unbothered, but the secrets inside them are restless and loud. Every hidden action, every whispered thought is now stepping into daylight. They stayed silent to protect themselves, but protection is fleeting when secrets awaken. The universe has a way of delivering hidden truths at the perfect, unavoidable moment. Silence you once felt safe, but safety is impossible when secrets demand attention. They acted unaware, like nothing mattered, but the weight of truth cannot be ignored Every secret they thought was invisible is now impossible to hide from reality. They stayed quiet, waiting for time. But time is no longer on their side. Silence delayed exposure, but the delay ends now. As truths rise relentlessly, every hidden emotion, every forbidden thought is finally making its way to light. They stayed silent, thinking they could escape consequences. But consequences never forget. Secrets held for years are emerging with an intensity that silence can no longer contain. They whispered nothing, acted like nothing happened, but the truth has a way of catching up with silence. For years, they held back words, feelings, and actions, but the universe never forgets what is hidden. Silence doesn't erase secrets, it only delays the moment when everything is finally laid bare. They smiled, they laughed, they stayed quiet, but now even their shadows tremble under the weight of exposure. Every withheld truth leaves an echo, and now those echoes are louder than any lie ever was. They thought no one noticed, but the energy of hidden truths always finds its way to light. Quietness was their shield, but the walls built from silence are starting to crumble. They held the world at a distance, hiding fragments of themselves, but nothing stays hidden forever. Secrets carried in silence often scream the loudest when the right moment comes. They avoided confrontation, pretending nothing existed, but the universe has a way of demanding answers. The weight of unsaid words is heavier than mountains, and now it's about to tip. Every secret has a shelf life, and theirs just reached its expiry date. They hoped the quiet would protect them, but truth has a stubborn habit of revealing itself. Their silence was a mask, but masks eventually slip when the world pulls hard enough. Even the calmest demeanor can't hold back a storm of truths forever. They thought shadows could hide them, but light always finds the corners they ignored. Words left unsaid were meant to protect, but they now threaten to undo everything. Silence is temporary. Revelation is inevitable. Their time of quiet is over. What was once buried deep is clawing its way to the surface, demanding acknowledgement. They stayed composed, acting as if nothing existed. But reality has a way of breaking pretense. Secrets are fragile when exposed to the smallest crack, and theirs is about to shatter completely. They stayed silent to avoid chaos, but the chaos finds them anyway when secrets awaken. What they hid behind polite smiles will soon walk freely into the open. They built walls around their truths, but walls can't hold what is destined to be known. For a long time, their silence felt safe, but safety never lasts when secrets whisper their own names. Hidden truths have patience, but they don't forget. And now, patience has ended. They acted like the past didn't matter, but the past always has a way of speaking. Quiet lips and hidden hearts can only keep secrets until the moment the universe decides otherwise. They stayed silent out of fear, but fear cannot bury reality forever. Every secret they carried is now knocking on the door, demanding recognition. The longer they stayed silent, the louder the truth became in unseen corners. They hoped no one would notice, but the truth notices everything, even in darkness. Silence once protected them, but now it betrays them like a shadow stretching too far. What they concealed with smiles and nods is now clawing toward daylight. They acted as if words weren't necessary, but some truths can't survive unspoken. For years, they kept the world at bay. But hidden storms have a way of breaking free. Silence might have been comfortable, but truth never rests in comfort. They whispered nothing to avoid judgment, but judgment is inevitable when secrets breathe. The quiet was their weapon, but weapons turn back on the wielder when time comes. Hidden stories always seek sunlight, and theirs is finally rising. They stayed silent, thinking no one would see, but the universe has a way of seeing all. The truths they buried are no longer patient. They are ready to claim attention. Silence gave them strength, but it also gave time for consequences to gather. They carried their secrets like fragile glass, and now the glass is cracking. They hoped their silence would be enough, but some truths are louder than any words. Quiet hearts still bleed when secrets fight to be known. The shadows they hid in are shrinking as the light approaches. They thought hiding would protect them, but protection only lasts until exposure. Silence can hide actions, but it cannot hide the energy of intentions. They acted untouched, unaffected, but now the world senses what they denied. Secrets held in silence have a rhythm of their own, and theirs is ready to sing. They believed nothing would come back to challenge them, but hidden truths always return. Silence seemed easier than confrontation, but confrontation is now inevitable. Every hidden feeling, every unspoken word, is about to burst into the open. They stayed silent, pretending life went on. But reality is ready to demand its reckoning. The quiet was their sanctuary, but sanctuaries crumble under the weight of truth. They thought the world would forget, but some things never let themselves be forgotten. Silence may have delayed exposure, but it could not stop it. They tried to hide behind calm and composure, but truth does not negotiate.